My name's Cain Vincent Dyer, and I robbed over 100 banks between 1999 and 2001. This is how crime works.
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old Fuq Boyz podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back from the trenches.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to talk about it right now, how bank robberies actually work. Now, this is a crazy video because this dude robbed 100 or over 100 banks and actually got away with it. He got away with it all. Well, I don't want to give the climax. So
when I think bank robberies, I think Al Pacino, Heat, running down the block. I'm like, I can't imagine he was, running in banks with a strap. 100 banks? So it had to be some like electronic white collar crime stuff.
We're about to find out. Before we get into it, you guys, don't forget to like, share, and comment on all of the content. And if you're really rocking with us, hit that subscription button and the notification bell. Let's go ahead and get this started. 40, we back.
40-year-old Fuq Boyz are back in town. 40. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old Fuq Boyz are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old Fuq Boyz podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40.
All right, you guys. So depending on what day and what time you're watching this, I have a new music video. What's it called? Fourth in Inches. Check it out. I could use the likes and comments for shizzle. And then we got a crazy interview with Tech 9, and there's a Harry Mack reaction in that. We got a bunch of stuff flowing through the channel. Check out the channel for all the content. And yo, Don's back, man. Welcome back, bro. You ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
I've been saving some of these clips for when you get back because I felt like it'd be funner to watch them with you guys. So, all right, I'm going to pull this up. This dude, OG bank robber. I mean, it's kind of wild, this story. I watched this one. There's another one I want to do with you about cocaine trafficking that I haven't even seen. So it'd be like a total authentic reaction. But anyways, you guys, let's get into this. So, I want to bring it back to the beginning because I want to hear his name again. And we're going to just hit play and pause and just talk and do our thing. So let's get it. 40-year-old Fuq Boyz podcast. Bang, bang, bang.
My name's Cain Vincent Dyer.
Cain Vincent Dyer.
I robbed over 100 banks between 1999 and 2001.
Damn.
This is how crime works.
In 3 years?
Yeah.
I saw this. I didn't process
For anyone out there that is watching this and you think you're going to go commit bank robberies the way I did, or I'm telling you in here, you're going to find yourself in jail. Leave bank robbery alone.
Man, damn. He's spoiling my fun.
So I'm just trying to predict like what it is because I'm like thinking it's got to be some sort of electronic, like fraudulent type of thing that he's talking about. And then when you said he turned himself in, I'm like, I wonder if he was like, look, I will show you how to close this loop if you cut me a plea deal.
I plead the fifth. You about to learn. But this is his prediction. So let's see what happens here. What do you guys think? Tap in now. You can put it in the chat right now. This is a premiere, so it ain't live, but I'll be looking at the chat and put your guess.
Yeah.
But or in the comments. Here we go. Hit that like button though. Get the likes up. Let's go.
So one of the things that I would do initially when I walk into a bank is walk in and go straight to the merchant teller, because I always knew that the merchant teller would more than likely have the most amount of currency. We've watched so many movies where people are like, hey, put your hands in the air. I think people naturally go to do that when they hear, hey, this is a robbery. The reasoning for me asking them to put their hands down or telling them to put their hands down is because you didn't want someone walking past the bank and seeing someone standing in a bank with their hands up or laying on the floor. So it was always just put your head down, keep looking forward.
White collar electronic crimes, huh?
Completely wrong.
Isn't that kind of? I knew you were gonna like this one, bro. Like it's this type of stuff is so interesting to me, and there's a level of security now because of cameras that just makes this type of stuff like real hard.
That's
Not that I'm interested in it, but like this is mad interesting.
Yeah.
So all right,
I mean, let's be real. Who is a man has not had a time in their life. Maybe some women too, but I'm just saying, you know, that toxic masculinity raging through our veins has not been like, oh, that would be fucking ill.
No.
You've never watched a movie and been like, I would love to rob a bank?
No, actually, no. It's kind of scary, bro. Like, it's like, dang, if I have to do this, gosh. It's low-key scary. It ain't scary.
Well, that's part of the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fucking frightening, and, you know, you're running up. You might have to, you know, get in a shootout with the police. It's like, that's part of the excitement to me. I guess I'm just fucking crazy.
Bro, this is what's weird about this generation. Not that you're from this generation. People are so brazen with the po-po. Bro, put your arms behind your back. Oh, put your heads on your head. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Here, my lights are on. Yeah, I don't have...
I feel like that's common sense, though.
But no, fools are acting like you. What, pig? You want to with me? What? And I'm like, bro, this is a cop.
I have done that before.
And people are getting clapped for that. And then they're like, oh, you know, protest. Anyways, it's weird. Anyways, let's keep going. We're getting off track.
That way, if someone did walk into the bank, they wouldn't even really realize what was going on until they were already in it. And what that would kind of do is it would let me read the temperature of the room. It would let me see if the people were either very compliant or very slow to move, or if they seemed nervous and scared, then I would kind of tailor how I would express myself after that, trying to be more calming. And, you know, unfortunately, if, you know, things were moving kind of slower, I would probably be a little bit more aggressive to the overall crowd. Checking the temperature, doing that one teller, I knew that one merchant teller, I knew if I decided not to go in the vault, that I would still have a reasonable, you know, outcome for the payday. That merchant teller, along with the manager, is the person I would have walk me into a vault. And like I said, if they were just a little too afraid or anything, then there are times where, you know, I wouldn't go into the vault.
Think about how much he was breaking that down. Think about how much thought is going into this.
So he's just going up to there, but did he say he would pull out a gun or anything?
He didn't see him say that.
That's what I'm confused by, because he's just talking about how he would, you know, go to the merchant teller, give him a note.
Let's see.
Everyone keep their hands down.
I forgot, because I watched this a while ago and saved this for you to see. Let's go through it, because I think he mentions one or he doesn't. I don't know.
Okay.
So, why does that look all janky?
Typically, I picked banks that were close to merchants. That way, I knew that that bank would more than likely be the banker for all those merchants that were there.
So is it just going to be scamming in the future? Because once everything's digital, it's just the scammers who are going to be able to rob banks. This is so crazy. This is the end of an era.
I know.
That's wild.
And that would mean that that bank would more than likely have more cash on hand. The other thing was, it always had to be a bank that was relatively close to multiple interstates. And one of the other things was how the bank was set up. Were there multiple ways that I could enter or exit? Like, casing a bank would consist of me watching the employees. And I would always watch to see who looked like they were in the most control. So sometimes I'd case a bank for a day and a half, and then go, you know, if it was a bigger bank. And I would watch the flow. I'd watch the timing of the flow. I'd watch the pickup. I took probably, I don't know, a few weeks, a month off, and just taught myself everything about banks. At that time, got in the whole of all different types of bank manuals, you know, employee manuals, employee guides, everything, safes, lock safes, time vaults.
He was calculated.
You know, it's interesting because, like, right out of the gate, I was thinking, like, this man is a professional, you know, like, not like, obviously, you know, you rob 100 banks, you're a pro, but just like the first thing that he said, he's talking about, like, feeling the room out. So it's like, it goes deeper than just like running in and being like, hey, put up your hands. I mean, he's like judging how he's going to proceed by the energy in the room. So he's like, okay, this person is nervous. A nervous person is more liable to make a mistake, do something stupid, hit the alarm. You know what I mean? Trip up and accidentally, punch in a code and then, have me locked in the, whatever that is. It's like, okay, here, this could be an issue based on the crowd. And he was even saying I'd look at the crowd and see how the crowd was acting.
Yep.
And, that's like potentially like, oh, there's a guy over there that's like, looks like kind of buff, that's like trying to buck up. Like, I don't know if I want to stay here and turn my back to him and go in there.
Yeah.
So all the while, like he's like sitting there, judging the whole room. And then he's talking about reading manuals. What's interesting to me is just like the level of detail that he put into this. Like most people don't put this type of detail into their normal jobs,
but
they don't like put this type of dedication to the job that they do. And
this is why the normal person is a C student. So this is just another, and even though he's doing the wrong thing, I'm not saying, go rob banks, but it's exemplifying success comes with sacrifice.
This is what I'm getting at.
You got to study.
Like to be that good, even at bank robbing, you can't just like run up and be like, yo, give me the money.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
He's reading manuals. He's studying people. He's casing it. He's like putting in mad work.
Yes, he is. Actually, I'm going to move where I put this because I think it'll look better up here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's keep it moving. Oops, sorry. There we go. Hoopsie low S.
Bank robberies. As far as attire would go, I would just always try and fit in whatever element was present. It was always pretty much just dressing down, jeans, a jacket, trying not to stand out too much. I definitely use the crazy glue to protect my fingertips and my palms. I would always wear a pair of glasses, always a baseball cap, and that seemed to cover enough. The mascara would
Looks like he has a gun in his hand.
Basically, it depended where I was. If I was in a place where there are more ethnic people, I would typically do a beard. If I was in a place where there were less ethnic people, I would more so sometimes going clean shaven or a really light shave. I would actually look at weather conditions because, of course, in an area where it's going to be raining or overcast, you can layer more. If it was sunny outside, there are a lot more people out. So there's probably more chances for me even to blend in. On a rainy day, though you get to bundle up, you still get to know that there aren't a lot of people out. So people are going to probably be looking at you. In certain cities, you had to account for different times that I would be going into a bank, not getting stuck in a rush hour traffic. Though there were banks that I absolutely would do it rush hour just because it would take longer for law enforcement to get to me if there was a lot of traffic out. So we've seen in movies that cops have this response time of about 3 to 5 minutes. And that's pretty accurate. That is not just Hollywood. So I would park across the street or in some direction where I wasn't alone, standing out by myself. My car wasn't the only one. And I always used a car that would fit in. Something that was really typical, that you would just see a lot of. What I would always try and do is make sure that we're...
So when he said that, now not that I'm into anything like that, but one of my engineers, like he put a little American flag sticker on his car. I was like, cool, whatever. It wasn't that. Then all of a sudden it's like an EDM sticker, then another sticker. And I'm like, I told him, I was like, you're making yourself a target. So for me, when I don't put stickers on my car, because I just don't like, I'm a public figure. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get recognized, and some people, like, you ever seen someone get spotted for doing something corny, like not even stealing, just get in trouble because they're like, yeah, man, he got the jujitsu sticker on the back of his car, or this sticker or whatever.
Yeah, I think about that because my truck is ridiculous.
I just keep it plain Jane personally. But like it's just funny you said that because I think there's certain color cars, you know, like a white car or this. Like for some reason, I heard that red cars get pulled over more than other type of cars. So he's making sense. That's all I just wanted to highlight. I was like, that's interesting because everyone puts the, oh, I want to be original, get some license plates, some stickers, and then it's like, oh, but if
it depends on what you're doing though, because I feel
if you're trying to stunt,
Well, no,
I try to
I'm
stay
just
low
saying,
key,
like
though,
for most
just in
people,
general.
it doesn't matter because they never have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right? They never have to worry about sticking out.
So this is what I'll tell you though. This is why I mentioned it, and I forgot to say this for women. Okay, women sometimes there's predators out there.
That's a different story.
And so there's this thing that I don't know if you know, when they abduct women, the cartels put these what are they called? Those ties. What are they called? Zip ties on the door handles. And so they put it on the back door handle. And if the girl doesn't pay attention and she's driving and one of the cartels sees it, it's a sign that they're more like, it means they're alone. They don't have they're actually been casing them. And
did I tell you? I mean, I told you.
Let's not get too far off track. Bro.
Yeah.
What's up? Is it worth getting off track or should we watch it? All right. We'll get into that one on another one.
Where I was parked, that it would not be in view of anyone that would be standing in a bank or immediately outside of a bank. So I always gave myself enough space to get away and then kind of disappear. So when exiting a bank, once I felt I was out of sight, I would turn a corner or something, then I would trot a little bit further once I wasn't in front of a bank trotting. As soon as I'm in my car and my mascara is off, I turn on my radio, roll down my windows, take off my hat, and I'm singing. I've got music on. Cops pass me. I'm looking at them. They're looking at me because what they're actually looking for
Somebody nervous.
is the guy that's not looking at them. Listen, when a bunch of cops roll past you, or even fire trucks, what do? We all look. So the one guy they're looking for is the guy who won't look at them, as they're driving.
It's weird because I hate looking at cops. I'll look up and I actually don't like looking at them because I'm like, please don't give me a ticket. Don't give me a ticket.
To it, they're looking to see if anybody's trying to ignore them personally, typically. How I would end up checking for die packs was different depending on what type of money I took. If it was just the merchant teller, then of course that money is loose. Even though it's in stacks, it's still loose. So what I would do is once I got all my mascara and things off and I was set and ready to drive, I would literally put a bag of money next to me and go through it and then throw that money kind of like on the floor. I would get back to my stakeout and I would go through all the money, taking my clothes, making sure they were burned, putting my fingers in solution so I could get the crazy glue off. I would hide the money in several different places.
I want to know what fucking solution he was using to get crazy glue off.
I don't know. Doesn't isopropyl help with stuff like that?
No, man.
I guess it depends on the crazy glue.
It's a legitimate question because I've put that shit on my hands or gotten it on my hands. I've tried all kinds of different stuff. And that shit is hard as fuck to get off.
Let's look. What gets...
It's going to say fingernail polish maneuver, but that shit does not work.
Off your hands. Try hand lotion, mineral oil, petroleum jelly, or vegetable oil. Dr. Anthony says the oil breaks down the canakalate bonds after massaging the oil into your skin. Try gently tugging the stuck area off without forcing.
I can honestly say I've never tried petroleum jelly. I have tried mineral oil, though.
That's what she said. She ain't tried petroleum gel. All right, you guys, back into this. My bad. Don's a head case.
But to be a little bit more specific, there was this one place that I had opened up the floor of it. I don't know. At one point, there had to just millions of dollars in this floor. There were a couple of times I actually put money in like a bank vault, in like a safety deposit box. Wouldn't that have been ironic had it gotten... Had there been a bank robbery and it gotten stolen, huh?
This fool.
The way I ended up getting into bank robbery. A very, very close person to me, a relative, a sibling, had gotten involved with a criminal organization. There was just no way he was going to get around this debt. You know, it would have been a matter of life or death. You know, had this debt not been paid, taken care of, the person would have lost their life. Those first set of banks that paid off that debt, those 6, though, were a lot less preparation and more desperation. Initially, I felt bank robbery was this victimless crime. I thought it would just be a better crime to commit. I felt like I was taking from an institution versus a person, which I wouldn't have done.
So he thought he was Robin
My
Hood.
first bank, I was literally just looking for any bank. I was going down the freeway and actually had to use the restroom. So I pulled off the freeway. It was at this Calabasas exit. I pulled in there to go to the restroom. I ended up parking, and right in front of me were 2 banks. There was a Chase and there was a Wells Fargo. And I sat there for a time period trying to determine which one I should go in, just watching the flow of people. I had this baseball cap and stuff, and I kind of pumped myself up, had this firearm with me, and I'm heading towards the bank. And as I get towards the bank, 2 things happen. One, there was this lady who was at the bank that seemed pregnant to me. And it was just like, I can't go in there while a pregnant lady's in there. She gets scared and, you know, the baby's harmed. So I was like, well, I kind of turned back. And as I went to turn back, there was this car window right there. And I look in the car window and I notice, oh my God, I can totally see myself. Like I can make myself out. So I went to this store that was miles down the road. I ended up getting this backpack. And I also got some mascara and some crazy glue to put on my fingertips as not to leave any fingerprints, because I didn't want to walk up to the bank with gloves on, which is, to me.
Isn't it crazy how he figured that out on accident? And think about how many times me and you've been successful in life by accident. Like you're just like, I just got to show up. Now, I'm not telling you guys go be bank robbers, but I'm just saying even our podcast, it's just like we just show up and then by accident we found Harry Mack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't that crazy? You guys hit the like button. Let's go.
Pretty obvious. It was a sunny afternoon. There was that chord while I was at this store that just kind of struck me like, what if someone tries to stop me? It made me purchase a replica, like an air gun or something like that, but it looked very, very authentic. So I purchased that and decided to use that in the robbery instead. Realizing that I probably needed a bigger bag, so I ended up grabbing this backpack. I realized that the backpack had these double zippers that I could partially open that would make it like a perfect sack that would be able to put things in, still have another hand free. Hence the name.
Just who walks into a bank with a backpack?
On their chest.
That just seems mad sus. I'd be like, sound the alarm.
Yeah.
Kangaroo Bandit.
Oh, did you hear that? I almost
Kangaroo?
made it. So you guys,
Kangaroo
because he
Bandit?
walked into the banks with the thing on his
pouch.
chest, they called him the Kangaroo Bandit. But I'm like thinking to myself, like, bro, if I see some dude just randomly walking into a bank with the joint on his chest, I'm over here like, nah, player, like, nah. Anyways, all right, let's
Yeah,
keep
especially 100 banks. You think they would call and be like, hey, if some dude walks in with the backpack,
on his chest,
yeah.
not on his back. It's just
That's
'cause
when you get a fake baby.
you wear that if you have like a baby. Yeah. Now, if he had a baby, that'd be lit. If he's like, yeah, I went in with a child, like it's like, yo, oh hell no.
When
I said a fake
my
baby.
consciousness
Jeez.
Nah, then you'd be like, yo,
Started
this dude, who got this fake ass
awaken
baby?
again. I think I could no longer hide behind the life and death imminent danger that was there before. I know if I would have kept doing it, I would have got caught. When I decided to turn myself in, of course I let my family know first, and then my attorney and we contacted the FBI. And at first they were like, yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. What I did not know at that time was someone had already kind of given them my name. I contacted them on a Wednesday and had planned on meeting them on a Friday. And instead they were like, no.
Just imagine that. Like, yeah, I've robbed millions of dollars. I'm going to turn myself in on this day. It just seems so, I don't know the word, when you're comfortable. It's just like, what?
I can't believe it's that easy, to be honest with you.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the time, like he did it for what, 2 or 3 years? That's just
20 years ago.
Yeah, and he said
22
millions
years
of
ago.
dollars in a floor. Millions of dollars. Do you think?
Because I always
do you
think
he could put something on the side?
Yes.
After he turned himself in.
I mean, what did they do? They're probably making pay restitution. I don't know. Let's watch.
We're not waiting on you to come in. They did this huge raid on my home on a Thursday night.
They love to do that shit.
But the only
Trump.
way they were able to take me in is if they found something on that search warrant, which they weren't able to find. Before he left, though, he and I had this conversation, he being the FBI agent. So I told him, I'm going to take some time to go spend with my family. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to turn myself in. And I was letting him know, don't worry, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to bolt, man. I'm going to keep my word. I told you I'd keep my word and turn myself in. And I ended up doing that. So when he saw me and I saw him after I had greeted my family, I actually walked up to him and we kind of embraced. We actually hugged each other. I surrendered. It was like, okay, now I begin my life. Well, I did not understand back in that time the psychological tolls that the victims suffered, the heavy cost I was having others pay to get out of the situation I was in. And so what I've done in an attempt to rectify that or to make right, I've worked with victims. I've worked with ex-offenders. And hopefully any victim that suffered at my hands and because of my actions, maybe they can take some comfort in knowing that today I actually, I've tried to wrong that. I didn't try. I like to think I am righting those wrongs.
He meant to say he tried to write that, you guys.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, though.
Volunteered for years. For almost 4 years straight, I volunteered 4 days a week, 4 hours a day.
Damn.
To help people get their lives back, whether it's an inmate or a former inmate or a victim. Or, other people that are moving through lives that don't have criminal aspects, but just get stuck in life.
All right, let's get him on the podcast.
My name's Cain Vincent
Yo,
Dyer.
I'm over here just like, I got mad questions, bro. Because my thing is like, bro.
How much time did you do?
Yeah, why did they leave that out? And like,
yeah,
what does he do now? Because look
Exactly.
at that suit. That suit, he's like,
He looks clean.
And you can tell he's smart.
Yeah.
You look at the Wolf of Wall Street, he has his whole life back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's making bread like he was before.
No, he's not, but it doesn't matter. Like when
No,
you're
I get
comfortable,
that.
you're comfortable.
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people
yeah.
are in the hole.
Yeah, because there's things that you can't take.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that he doesn't have the millions of dollars, you can't take away that level of thinking and planning, nor can you give that to somebody. That's what's always interesting to me about, criminals on this level, is because a lot of people go through life and they don't ever have the level of detail of work ethic, because everything that he's talking about, that's legit work ethic. It's detail, it's initiative, right? It's,
because you can
bravery.
work that hard to get a company into like
But think about how many people are just so average and never take any of that on.
Now, we're not championing this guy. I'm just saying he did put in the work. Like, if you put in the work, you're going to get something.
But even to think
Either
about
a lot of money or a lot of years.
Yeah, even to think about like what he was saying about the victims, because, hey, I'm robbing from the bank. They're federally insured, so they're not even necessarily losing the money. Customers don't lose the money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's what's going through his head.
Yeah, he's more it's like the teller and how the teller has to go home and be scared, and like, you know, there's certain psychological damage when you've been in a very traumatic situation. You're not used to it. Like someone sticks a gun in your face. I've been shot at. I know those. I mean,
I was thinking about this the
I'm
other
just
day.
thinking the average person. Like, I've seen this stuff, and I was kind of like, when me and you were young, we actually went in the streets like, yo, we ready for war, like dumbasses.
Yeah.
But we still were ready for that. You worked your whole life, got to this teller position. You're a bank manager, been working, you know, you're a smart person. And then it's like, give me your, and it's like, oh, like that. That's traumatic.
I was thinking about this the other day because I heard like a podcast or something. It was different people who had been the victims of violent crimes or things of that nature, and how one guy was just saying, he's like, I just, you know, it's ruined my life. Like I can't go outside. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. And there was a part of me was just like, pussy, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm being an asshole. You know what I mean? Because just like you said, I've just been through a lot of shit like that in my life. You know, traumatic shit, you know, been fucking beat down, all this stuff. So I just am like, you know, whatever, Teflon Don.
Yeah.
You know, not worried about it. But I was thinking about that because I was like, damn, it is kind of crazy how different people have certain things happen in their life and they don't ever recover for it, or it just like changes them. And a lot of people aren't, you know, built that way. They're just softer people, not, you know, right or wrong. It's just like they're softer people, which is probably good. You probably don't want a bunch of fucking savages running around that are like capable of witnessing violence and like brushing it off their shoulder.
And that's what you see in the inner city. Like there's like, it's literally like literally similar to being at war in some urban environments. So facts.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was mad interesting. I saved it. I'm glad I got to wait, because like sometimes when I'm up here, I'm like, yo, I just got to put out content. So I go through these, but I was like, this one.
But I do want to know. I want to know, how much time did he do? What does he do now? What happened to the family member?
Yeah.
You know, because typically
people that go down that path typically stay on that path.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like having a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, it's like, oh, I gamble and I owe the cartel $1 million and
It's
I
like-
have to have it by Thursday.
2
You're
weeks
like,
later,
what?
they're out there doing some fuck shit again.
Message.
I'm not robbing any more banks for you.
You know what I mean?
You think he did it over a bitch?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't love these hoes, bro. You know that, though.
Would have to be like a family member, right? Like a brother, sister.
Yeah, I would say a brother, sister, maybe a dad. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, if you guys know any more about this story, sound off in the chat or the comments. Shoot, man. Let's do this. Don't forget to like, share, comment on all the content. Hit that subscription button. We moving on up. The new music video, 4th and Inches, is either out now or on the way out, but also check out the new interview I did with Tech Nine, and we did a Harry Mack reaction with Tech Nine. It's on the channel. It's blowing up, so let's get it. And yo, if you want to peep out more videos, all you got to do is click the recommended. It'll pop up on the side, all that stuff in the description, playlist, whatever you want. On that note, we're out of here, y'all. 40!
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ boy.